Hi guys, Grand J here, and welcome to our unboxing for the Dragon Ball Super trading card game. So today we're opening up a Dragon Ball Super starter deck. So as you can see, it's a cool little box here. And so there are 5 starter deck exclusive cards. So there's more than a couple of copies of each of them. But yeah, there are certain cards in this deck that you can't get in the main set, and some of these are quite powerful. So let's open up and check it out. So, as pretty standard, you get your starter deck there, and you get a couple of sheets. So I guess we'll just quickly check these out and move on. So something that you get that's pretty cool is you get, it's just standard paper playmat. So it shows off the different areas on the mat, and gives you a general idea of how to play the game. And then also, secondary paper sheet is the rule sheet. So Dragon Ball Super is actually a pretty straightforward game to play. It's not super difficult. From what I've seen so far, it doesn't have like a super complicated like chain or stack. So you're not going to be like sort of adding a whole bunch of stack and responding to a whole lot of stuff. You do respond to cards in this game, but yeah, they're not. It's not nearly as in depth or as crazy as say Magic the Gathering per se. So yeah, so that's that out of the way. Let's open this up. So it's a really cool looking deck. Unfortunately, in this game, in the first set, there's only one starter deck. So there's no like in a lot of other card games, you have 2 or 3 starter decks when a set comes out. So hypothetically, this should have been like a Goku deck, and then there should have been a Frieza deck or something, or a Goku and a Vegeta deck. But yeah, this is the only deck available at the moment. But yeah, it's really quite nice. There's quite a couple of competitive cards in here. So let's open it up. It's always great to open up a starter deck for the first time. You get to unseal this foil off of it. Yeah, so as we can see, in every starter deck you get 51 cards. So every deck is made of 51 cards. You have the 50 card main deck, and then you have one leader card. So this top card here is your leader card. So you start off in your base form, which is Super Saiyan God Son Goku. And then after you take a certain amount of damage in the game, then you flip your leader to the other side, and that gives you your awakened form. And depending on which ones you have, they have this like nice gold foiling to them. So it's a little bit difficult to see. I hope the camera's doing it justice, but like all the little gold areas are sort of like inked on top, so they look really nice. It would have been great if like both sides had it, but this side's just kind of like a standard print version. So I suppose like when you awaken, you really sort of like get your character to the next level. You're like really sort of rewarded by having this really cool looking sort of artwork attached to it. So yeah, so that's the leader card there. Supposedly this leader is pretty competitive, like probably amongst the like top 5 from what I've heard. So yeah, definitely if you're going to be playing like a Goku base or a blue base deck, then this is probably the one of the first leaders to go to. So next card is we have a gold, like a super rare or a gold print version of Vegeta Prince of Speed. So yeah, yet again, it's got this like nice gold foiling to it. It looks really nice. I'm not sure how strong this card is, but damn, this card looks very nice. It's definitely for collectors. It's something that you want to have like a couple of copies of. So yeah, so you get 2 copies of Vegeta Prince of Speed. You get one foil version and one sort of like just standard print version. So like if you want to get like your full blinged out deck, then unfortunately you're gonna have to buy up to 4 of these. But because in this game you can have up to maximum 4 copies of a card. If you just buy 2 copies of the starter deck, then you can have your 4 Vegeta Princes of Speed if you want to play using 4 of them. So so far these are like 2 cards that are starter deck exclusive. The next starter deck exclusive card is God Rush Son Goku. So this deck is based around playing the different sort of like really strong Gokus, and so this is God Rush Son Goku. Can't really talk too much about the effect. From the few games that I played, this guy does seem pretty strong. So yeah, in this starter deck, I believe you get 4 copies of this Son Goku. Yep. So if all you're interested is just like the Goku parts of the deck, then you get 4 pieces. That's great. Next starter deck exclusive card is this one, Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku Maximum Energy. This seems like a really powerful card. It really looks like a game fixture. You can play it in for quite cheap if you have a Goku on the field. It's got double strike and dual attack, so it can attack for up to 4 damage return successfully, which is like half your opponent's life. So that's actually really strong, and it's got a cool little auto ability as well. So I believe you get 2 copies of this guy. 2 copies of Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku Maximum Energy. And the final side deck exclusive card is this one here, Rapid Spirit Ball Son Goku. So yeah, this looks to be just like a cheap sort of like cheap ramp or cheap sort of tempo type of Goku. Yeah, can't really comment on this guy. He doesn't seem super impressive, but I believe you get 2 copies of this guy. Yep, you get 2 copies. So those are the 5 starter deck exclusive cards. So definitely, if you're going to build any sort of Goku deck, you're definitely going to have to pick up one of these. But otherwise, the rest of the deck is just kind of like a common filler that you would see sort of in the set. So everything else I'm showing you now is all stuff that you can get from the normal set. So first we have 4 copies of I'm supposed to show you Kind Saiyan Son Goku. So this is kind of like the fundamental card of the deck. So he's a 1-cost character, so he's cheap, and he looks at the top 7 cards of your deck for another card named Son Goku, like one of these larger ones. And they all have the evolve ability. So evolve means like when you've already got a character on the field of that name, then you play this on top. It evolves them into the higher form. So yeah, obviously you're playing these cheap Son Gokus, they search for your other Gokus, and later on you evolve him into the higher forms. In this game, there's no like legendary rule or character uniqueness, so you can have multiple Gokus on the field at the same time, or multiple Vegetas, or multiple etc. Even if your leader card is a Goku, you can play like as many Gokus or whatever on the field as you can. So there's no limit in that regard. So yeah, you can build decks specifically around like one character, and you'll be fine. Next, we have a couple of copies of Mighty Striker Son Gohan. So yeah, this seems like just kind of like a sort of like a very like strong cookie cutter card. It's 4 cost, 25,000 power. It's got double strike on it. So yeah, definitely this card seems quite strong for like a common type card. So I think this card's going to see a lot of play in a lot of blue decks. Next we have 3 copies of Son Goten. So these just seem to be like sort of your filler sort of cards. The early drops, they don't really have an effect on them, and they just have a standard power. It's cool that like for cards that are vanilla that don't have abilities, they kind of just went for the full art, and so like it looks really cool. Unfortunately, in this game you aren't able to get 4 versions of every card, so it would have been nice for some of these like sort of more common looking full art cards to have 4 versions as well, but unfortunately we don't have that. Next we have 4 copies of Assailant Vegeta. So on paper this guy actually looks quite strong because he's got the critical ability, and of course he's there so you can evolve him into one of your Vegeta Princes of Speed. Yeah. Next we have, I believe, 3 copies of just like standard Trunks, which seems to be like just a vanilla copy of Son Goten and Trunks. Yeah. And for the second sort of component to the deck is the ramp part. So we have 4 copies of Bulma, the God Tempter. So yeah, she's a great card. So when she enters the field, you get to search your deck for a Whis card, cost 4 or less, and you also get 4 copies of Whis, the Resting Attendant. So Whis is his strength isn't particularly high, which is weird because if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Super, you would have found out that Whis is actually like stronger than Beerus. So Beerus is already like stupidly strong, and Whis is like a whole tier above him. So yeah, so Whis costs 4, and he's got 10,000 power, not particularly strong, but when he does enter play, you do get the top card of your deck added into your energy area, so he does ramp you up. So a big part of this deck is about sort of ramping up your energy, which is the equivalent of land or mana in this game, and yeah. And so like Son Goku, his awakened form has an ability of, during your turn, if you have 5 or more energy, he gains plus 5,000 power. So that actually just makes his offense a lot stronger if you have more energies. Similar thing with Vegeta Prince of Speed as well. So yeah, so you have 4 copies of Whis, the Resting Attendant. So obviously you got a lot of copies of him because you got a lot of Bulmas and you're trying to search for him, play him out, and get energy. And after he's out, he's at 10,000 power. He's not like a terrible body, but he's also he can use himself to combo or basically like enter combat and like give power ups to other characters. Next we have, I believe, 2 copies of Energy Boost Beerus. So this is like another card that sort of works with the blue ramp style, where he comes into play, and if you have 5 or more energy, then you can KO a character, so basically destroy another battle card. So yeah, 2 copies of those. Definitely this card seems strong, so definitely would try to get more of these if you can in the future. And next we just kind of have a couple of like filler blockers. So we have 4 copies of Taunting Piccolo. So Piccolo, so taunt or blocking, a blocker ability basically means that you can sort of dull or tap or like rest a character in order to redirect the attack to them. So yeah, so in this game, because a lot of characters have double strike or triple strike or that sort of thing, when it gets towards the mid to late game, you really want to sort of like have ways to prevent your leader card from taking big hits. So like using your blockers to sort of block attacks is really handy in that regard. Then we have 4 copies of Guardian North Kai, and again, he's just like a cheaper blocker. He's cost 1 and he's got 5,000 power, so again, similar type deal. And next we have the extra cards. So the extra cards are kind of like the equivalent of your instant speed or your spells in other games. So they can be played at specific times during the game. There's no stack in this game, but like cards have like do indicate when they can be activated. So this card can be activated during the main phase, and Whis would be to counter an attack. So you have 2 copies of Encouraging Presence Monica. Don't really know how strong that is, but this next card is actually quite strong. So you have 4 copies of Whis' Coercion, and so Whis' Coercion basically allows you to negate an attack and then reactivate one of your energies. So he's basically a free card to negate an attack. And yeah, so that's the 50 card starter deck for Dragon Ball Super Set 1. Definitely this deck seems like very competent on its own. So if you were to just pick one of these up and play with it, you're actually going to have a really good time. The deck obviously isn't super competitive, but this game actually seemed quite balanced, and you can actually get really far with this. So like I picked up had a couple of games of this deck against someone who built like a sort of more expensive, like bigger deck with like super res and stuff, and I was able to have like a pretty solid time with this build and these characters. Yeah, so the deck seems strong. The game seems really good. I do enjoy it, and there's like really nice artwork on cards. And yeah, again, it's just sort of delving into the Dragon Ball Super lore. So that's great. I really love this game. I really hope that you guys go check it out. And if you guys are Australian based, then you can check out my store, grandjgames.com. I'll be having a lot of singles and some starter decks and some booster packs for sale at a pretty cheap price there as well. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will be going back into more Final Fantasy content in the near future, but this kind of just been on my to-do list for a while, so I'm just getting these things out. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing content for Dragon Ball Super in the near future as well, talking about decks, talking about strategy, that sort of stuff. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys sort of like seeing what's coming, what you get in these packs. And yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, let me know if you want me to do more content like this in the future. All right, Grand J out.